Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. I really love looking at and collecting postcards, especially vintage postcards. Here at Ancestral Findings, I've collected thousands and thousands of them over the years. People have sent me postcards from their hometowns, old pictures of places that meant something to them, and scenes from all across the country, and it's been exciting to receive each and every one of them. So I decided to set aside a little time to talk about some of these postcards and the stories they tell. I'm calling it Postcards from the Past. It's not going to be a continuous project, just something I'll add to now and then, whenever a postcard really catches my eye or sparks some curiosity. I hope you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. Now, let's get started. Right now, I'm holding a postcard in my hand that shows South Seas Plantation on Captiva Island, Florida. It's a beautiful aerial view. You can see the tip of the island stretching out into the Gulf of Mexico with all these little villas and cottages lined up along the beach. The water around it is this deep blue, and the whole scene looks peaceful, like the kind of place where you could stay for a week and never want to leave. On the back, the card says, South Seas Plantation, Florida, the way it was meant to be. 330 relaxing tropical acres nestled at the very tip of Captiva Island in the Gulf of Mexico. That little line caught my attention. Florida the way it was meant to be. It made me want to dig in a little deeper and find out more about this place. I did a little research and found out that before it became a resort, South Seas Plantation was actually a key lime plantation. Back in the early 1900s, they were growing rows and rows of lime trees out here. It's hard to imagine that now, looking at how peaceful and untouched it looks in the postcard. But key limes were a big deal. People used them for cooking, preserving food, and even as a way to keep sailors healthy during long voyages. Farming out here wasn't easy, though. Hurricanes were a constant threat. After a major storm wiped out much of the key lime crop, the landowners decided to shift gears. That's when they started turning this corner of Captiva into a vacation spot. Somewhere people could come to slow down, enjoy the ocean, and just breathe a little. Captiva Island itself is pretty special. Back then, it wasn't easy to get to. There weren't any big highways leading out there. In fact, for a long time, the only way to reach Captiva was by boat. That isolation helped keep the island quiet and untouched, even as other parts of Florida were starting to fill up with tourists and hotels. South Seas Plantation fit right into that slow, relaxed way of life. You could go sailing, spend the day shelling along the beach, and end your evening with a sunset over the Gulf. No crowds, no rush, just time to enjoy where you were. Over time, South Seas Plantation grew a little bit. They added more cottages, a marina, and even a golf course. Hurricanes hit a few more times, and the property was rebuilt more than once. Today, it's called South Seas Island Resort. It's been updated to meet the needs of modern travelers, but from what I can tell, it still holds on to a lot of the old feeling. You can still walk the beaches, hear the waves rolling in, and watch dolphins playing just offshore. Looking at this postcard, I can't help but imagine the person who first bought it. Maybe they were standing in the little gift shop at the resort after a long day out on the water, picking out a few cards to send home. Maybe they tucked it away in a suitcase, just like I would have, saving it as a small piece of a beautiful memory. Postcards like this aren't just pictures. They're little pieces of real life, small snapshots of places people loved enough to share. After reading about Captiva and seeing this postcard, I think it's definitely a place I'd like to visit someday. I'd love to walk those beaches, feel that Gulf breeze, and maybe even find a few seashells like travelers did decades ago. And who knows, maybe I'll find a new postcard while I'm there, one that I can share down the road as part of this project. If you enjoyed this little journey back in time, I'd love to hear from you. I collect postcards from all over the world. If you'd like to send me one, go to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact, and I'll share my mailing address with you. Every postcard tells a story, and I'd love to hear yours. Thanks again for joining me today as we explore postcards from the past. There are plenty more postcards waiting to be shared, and I can't wait to bring you along for the next one.